Hello everyone, I'm Mark from Stilling, Canada. And what you're going to see coming up is we finally do the cuts on our oatshine. Now remember, I already did when I took it off the parrot, I already took out a lot of the beginning and a lot of the end, so the heads and tails and the foreshots were already gone. And I apologize for the way we set up the camera on this. I won't let that happen again. So if you can endure that, thank you. But for now, behind me, you see my rum is bubbling away happily. There's a story to tell on that in the next video. All right, watch us and enjoy. Thank you. So here we are set up to do the cuts for the oatshine, and they'll all go in that big container. And I've already pulled them out, and anything over 60% got cut with distilled water or fresh water, and it's all out in the front. Now I'm going to do the tastings, and I have another person here with me that will also do the tastings so we can compare notes. I don't like doing this alone. I don't have the experience or the knowledge, so I do this with one other and maybe two others. We'll see. So as we go through, we'll move the jars forward or move them back, and then once again we'll look at filtering the ones that are undesirable at this point in time, see if we can bring them up to something that I want. Alright, so give me a few minutes and we'll get these sorted. Okay, so sorry about the head cut off, but in this, the first one here, I find I'm going to come back and try it, and we made the mistake of starting from the hottest and working our way down. We should have started in the center and worked either way, probably down first then up. So difference of opinion on the first one. The second one it's amazing the difference in flavor between these. So this one here is a little bit smoother. And once again, we're looking at a difference of, this is above 80% alcohol for the first one. The second one is between 80 and 50. And remember, there was a drop in the distilling. The third one is at 50, and this one is a lot smoother. And this one, have we tried this one?
Yeah.
Okay, this is the one that was really sweet.
That one was really nice.
Yeah, it's smooth, it's well-bodied, and it's quite sweet. And this is the first one that's not cut with water. This one is straight because it's at 50%. This one here is also at it's at 48%, and a little sip of that. Now I don't get any tails coming into there. It's got more of the oat flavor, more of it like an oatmeal. Like if you just grab the oats and just chewed on them. So there's no, I find not a lot of sweetness, but it's like taking the oats and just chewing on them.
That's good though. I like it.
Yeah, no, I'm not arguing with that.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So this one here, this is a bottle G. It's at 48% as well. So this is almost indistinguishable from F. But once again, the same proof.
They should be the same,
Yeah,
yeah.
you once again, you can, even halfway through one of these pours, you can get a different flavor. But these are virtually identical. So you want to give that one a whirl? Yeah, so to me that's the same. It was like taking the oats and just chewing on them. So pretty good with that. H, now we already started. Now we had 3 of these. The other one is actually in the filter unit. So this one here, H, is at 40%, and it's straight as well.
Both fired. On my tombstone. Oh look, it wants it too.
Yeah, it wants some too. This one, the flavor profile is starting to die down, and I'm getting a little off flavor. Not bad. I'm gonna keep, like I said, keep that one. But you can see where it's starting
There's
to,
a sweetness on there.
a little bit of sweetness into there as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the last one I have is 40% to 38%. Anything below this, we have already discarded. The same with the top. Anything above the first 80, rough 80, was also discarded, and that was just the heads. So we get into tails. Anything below 38, I just you could smell the difference, and it really wasn't even worth collecting. Now I could have shaved. I could have saved it for further use, but it'll be so long before I get back to doing this and refining this recipe a little bit better that I didn't bother saving anything. Now this one, it reminds me of a bit of it's the oats, but you get like a marzipan in it. It's bizarre, and really, if you go back, you can pick up a bit in here, but there's almost like a marzipan within there.
And again, the sweetness. There's this.
So the sweetness improves with this, and I don't know what flavor you're picking out of that.
I'm getting almost a corn like sweet. Like it's just, but it's oat.
That's straight oat.
Yeah. But interesting little.
All right, so we're good with all of these, and let's go back and try that top one again. Now I think I'm gonna have a little sip of water first.
Really interesting.
On the difference in flavor there to there.
Yeah.
But I like these, and I think they'll enhance these quite a bit.
I really like that.
This one you liked.
Yep.
And I push this to the end. I push this aside. See, I'm tasting medicinal in this. I'm tasting. I get the rest. I get the flavors in it. I get the oats. But I just find it harsh. And you like that.
Well, it's just. I wish you hadn't said medicinal, because now I'm.
Now you pick it up on your tongue?
But
Now the
I
question
still like
is,
it.
No, okay,
It's-
so and that's the main part is we know that this is, and it's probably not a 40%. It's probably a little bit higher, so we're feeling the heat from that. But I do get a harshness out of it. Now, will that harshness smooth out and blend with this?
I think so.
Let's try. So what we do, if we take the very top one, and we can try filtering it, but I think there's a better experiment here. Let's mix the top and the bottom.
Okay.
That'll give us a rough idea of where we're going to be heading. And if this is a reasonable additive, then strewed across all the rest of this, we should be in something reasonable. Yeah, I won't argue that.
I like that.
Okay.
That's interesting.
Okay, so once again, we've already, from the still, when we did the takeoff and the initial run, we essentially knocked out our 4 shots. That was discarded instantly. Our heads, we took off a couple bottles there, and then we started into our third head. So once it started dropping down close to the 80% mark, that's when we started collecting for saving. And we ran through. Now there's one bottle that was missing here. I think it's D. D is missing, and that was a 50%. So there's 3 that we held at 50%, and then we got down to the 38%. And anything below that, once again, you could really smell the difference as it was coming off the parrot, and it just, there was smearing there. So by the time I started smelling it, and it just wasn't worth, I thought, collecting. So the still was shut down at that point. So what you see here is pretty much what we're collecting, and we are essentially going to save it all. There are different flavors within this, different profiles. Like when I got down here and got the marzipan, that surprised me. And the first one I thought was a little too strong, but once again, once we mixed it with this one,
Yeah.
yeah, no, it was quite good. So let's add them all up together. We'll do a test on the ABV, then we'll cut it, and we'll give it a final test.
Yes. Yeah. The difference in flavor.
Okay, where was your marzipan hit?
It was
The
down,
one
yeah.
that we already blended?
Well, it is the sipping, and you know it's nice, but and if all you were after, and there's a couple of things I can already imagine this blended with, and it's gonna be fantastic. But I think when you get to the if you're just gonna sit down having it neat, I prefer to have an exploration and a refinement of discovery. So the first sip, I want the second sip where I can pick up something different. So, you know, when it's a single note like that middle was, it's as good, but the first sip is going to be the exact same as the last sip of that glass. And I'd rather not have that. I'd rather have, you know, explore it once my tongue is, my mouth is accustomed to that sort of flavor, be able to explore further. So that's why I'm thinking, and with some of these other bottles, like especially with number 1 and 2, because there are different flavors in there and there are different pickups, I believe that is going to enhance this significantly. Now this last one, let's just do half of this,
What about?
and then we'll try it. Add half of this.
I felt it, but sure.
Yeah, let's go with half. And then we'll, because it's the one you like, but I was iffy. Yeah, there's some flavors in there that I'm hoping smooth out well. We've already tried smoothing.
That's not half.
Nope, that's not half.
What did you do?
I was thinking about something else while I did it.
And that would
I
be marked.
literally saw that happen.
Oh.
Here, I just.
That does happen, actually. Yeah, okay, so as you just saw, it all went in. I was only going to do half of that. But... All right, so we'll blend this, or we'll mix this up, and we'll pour a bit out, we'll cut it. First we'll try it without, and then we'll cut it again, and bring it down to about 45 ABV, and then we'll try that. All right, so we've done the blending. We threw everything into here, and then I pulled out, into my graduated cylinder, I pulled out, and we threw the hydrometer in, and right now we're sitting at exactly 50%, 50 ABV. So that's 100 proof. That's fine. We'll leave it at that for now. I don't think I need to adjust that anytime soon. And we'll give this just a little bit of a tasting. And we'll see how the blends of all that. So we went from having a somewhat of a harsh at very first. Once again, I cut a fair amount of heads out already, and the 4 shots were long gone. So I judged where I would get it off my parrot, and then right down into where I stopped it in the high tails. I didn't want to go too deep in the tails. So this way I knew a range, and I basically distilled by parrot, or by hydrometer. So this is the blend, and we'll give that a whirl. So you can smell the very front, not near as strong, and that was an appealing smell. But when we get into here, basically we moved into almost the middle of the pack that we looked at, with the tongue feel and the bite, the spiciness that you got from the earlier versions. The marzipan almost is gone to me, but I still get a bit of a nut in there as well as the oats. All in all, I'm happy with this blend, but Mine's not. My pallet's just one. We'll bring in another pallet.
Interesting.
It's not a heavy dimension. I find it's not a lot of dimensions into it. You know, the second, third sip are not new discoveries, but they're not exactly the same. There is a slight change as you go along.
See, I'm getting a little bit more of the medicinal hinge to it.
From the beginning.
Yeah.
The very first one that you liked.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it is. It definitely, and once again, it's 50, so it's the ABV's at 50, and you're going to get that little more of a burn. And you're getting more of that flavors that you liked at the very beginning,
Yeah.
but I can still taste the blend at the end, too. So, I'm happy with this, and you know what?
I'm not getting the sweetness out that we had.
No, the sweetness has been cut down a lot from there.
Yeah.
Yeah. But this, so if I take this down to say 40%, I add espresso into this, I add some simple syrup into this, I think we'll have an amazing blend.
Yeah.
Alright, so that's the cuts for the oats.